of the crop. Nobody does it better.
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
I understood that reference.
Morning, Mr. Hammond.
Your mission,
should you accept it, steal, destroy, shadow, disappear.
assemble the team.
And here we go.
Greetings and salutations. This is, in fact, Freewheeling Fridays, the show where we introduce you to some of the best creators from all over the world, and we find out more about them by taking your questions, and we throw in some discussions about some other pop culture topics and craziness that probably will ensue. I am your host, Ryan of A Channel, and our guest on this week's episode of Freewheeling Fridays is none other than, oh no, I'm so sorry, it's the No, it's not that. Indie comic or creator and just creator all around. Faye this, Faye that. Jay Mooers is here. What's up, Jay? How you doing?
Sorry, it's Jay Moops.
Moops, sorry.
Moops.
Got that wrong. Jay.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Oh boy, there's probably going to be a reference or two to that sitcom tonight. But yes, thank you so much for being here, Jay, and thank you so much for being here, maybe watching or listening to us right now. Don't forget to like and share this with your closest friends if you're watching this live or what is known as a replay. Thank you for doing that. If you have any questions for the guest of honor, Jay, let us know in those comments. Let us know in the chat. Be more than happy to take those as they come in respectively. With that piece of business out of the way, Jay, when did you first start reading comics?
When did I start reading comics? Oh boy. So most of my comic collecting back when I was a kid was actually comic strips. Mm-hmm. So I was an avid reader of Garfield, Farside, Calvin and Hobbes. I think those were my three big ones at the time. And I always shied away from comics because I'm a completionist. And the fact that the stories have been going on for decades before I was a kid, kind of like made me not want to jump in the middle. And before things like the internet, you couldn't access stories from outside of whatever was available at the store. So I kind of shied away from a lot of it. Some friends of mine would introduce me to different things. Like I read some Daredevil in high school. And then in college, I kind of liked a lot of the one-shot DC like Batman variations where they had guest artists that weren't comic artists actually do comics and stuff. But for the most part, I really didn't collect a lot of comic books. And now I have a whole bunch of them because I've known so many people in the industry and stuff, and I collect their books and have them sign them, and I enjoy reading them. But there's nothing like particular that I collect.
All right, I gotcha. Understandable. But hey, everybody's got to start somewhere. Wow, comic strips, sure. Calvin and Hobbes. They're at a cemetery. Sorry. I remember the scene of Pappas. And did you ever see a little indie film called Point Break? Did you ever see that?
A little indie film called Point Break?
Yeah, with Keanu Reeves and
that indie guy, Keanu Reeves. Nobody ever sees.
Yeah.
Most people probably don't even know who you're talking about.
No.
It's some obscure guy named Ted.
Some dude.
Something.
Yeah. Patrick Swayze was also in that. You familiar with him?
No, that name sounds really weird to me.
Okay. Well, anyway, for argument's sake, there was a scene in Point Break where Gary Busey's character is in a car alongside Keanu Reeves, and they're scouting this bank that's potentially going to be robbed by the bank robbers played by Patrick Swayze and company. And he's reading a newspaper, and he's reading Calvin and Hobbes in the car, and he says, "This Calvin and Hobbes thing is funny. They're at a cemetery." It's just. I don't know. I just thought it was
kind of stuck right in there. Like it occupies an important part of your memory that something else got pushed out of, and you'll never find out what it was.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb a little bit. But that's just me. If no one's ever seen Point Break before, go ahead and check it out. It's a really good action movie from the 90s.
I don't know if you can find it. Yeah,
it's
deep into the Walmart bins or something.
Yeah. Well, either that or you can stream it because it's streaming. I think it streams for free on YouTube, free with ads. Although it's the edited version, it's not the actual R-rated version like the original. But you can stream the original version on Pluto or Tubi. It's you can stream it for free
or not Tubi. Yeah.
Yes. Tubi TV or not to be Tubi TV, something like that. Just throwing that out there. What are some of your favorite comic-based movies or TV series, either past or present?
Let's see. When I was a kid, I loved Howard the Duck. I rewatched it about 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, ooh, didn't love it as much, and it was kind of a sad moment for me. Um, let's see what I mean. I've enjoyed the MCU up to a certain point. Then I feel like there's, I don't know, too much all piled together. I've never been a fan of the multiverse. Um, I find I guess as a writer it's kind of fun because you can write so many what ifs. But when like you're trying to like make like a canon like series of movies and you throw that in there, it's like you just unvalidated everything that's happened in any movie before that. Because it's like, oh, that just happened in one world. There's infinite worlds. What does that matter? And it's like, oh, well, thanks a lot for that. Thanks. Those 12 years I spent watching those movies are just kind of that's just one version. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of the Scott Pilgrim movie. I thought that was an excellent movie version of a comic series. And of course, there's like certain Batman films I enjoy and other ones I don't. But nothing really jumps out as like the thing,
Yeah, I get that. Is Batman '89 one of the ones you enjoy?
Batman '89.
Yeah, from 89, baby.
That is my favorite.
There you go.
That is number one.
It's a good pick, and as you can see, I'm a lot happier. Yeah, so that's good. That's real good.
Pale Moonlight.
That's right. Yeah. Dude, that film is endlessly quotable.
Thrown in there just for flavor.
Yeah, but it's endlessly quotable, man.
It is.
It really is. I mean, take thy beak from out thy heart. I'm only laughing on the outside. My smile is just skin deep. If you could see inside, I've been crying. You might join me for a weep. It's just, gosh, man.
Every moment he's on the screen, he just chewing on the edges of the screen.
He is. He really is. And Pops is here. He says, "Hey, yo, what's up, Pops? Good to see you, man. Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods." Goodness gracious. What made you decide to become an indie creator?
I think I'd spent years doing cover work and children's book covers and children's books interiors. And I just kind of was like, I'd like to create my own stuff. I have too many ideas. And I just started writing and illustrating my own stuff. And then it turned from heavily illustrated novels to comics. And then the natural transition from there, it turned from comics into game design, writing my own worlds. And that's where I've fallen now.
Nice work, man. Well, congratulations on that. That's fantastic. No doubt about it. What would you say are some of the rewards about being an indie creator?
Well, obviously, it's a reward and it's also a detriment. A lot of my projects are kind of self-portraits. Like as an artist, whatever you create is you, and when you create something like that and you put it out to the world, some people love it, and it like validates the risk you have putting your own soul out there for people to consume. But then of course it can be devastating when the world rejects it, or even one person rejects it, and it's just the project is personal, and so when someone dislikes it, it feels like a personal attack sometimes. But that's part of the gamble. I mean, you don't get the same rush when you're working as a hired artist or editor or writer or colorist or what have you for someone else's project. That's a business, that's easy. But when it's an indie project, especially something that you've created yourself, like I said, it's personal, and people loving it matters so much more than when you're just a hired wrist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I could see your point of view on that for sure. On the opposite side of the fence, though, what are some of the biggest challenges about being an indie creator?
You are all the jobs. There's, of course, like in the comic industry, like if you're the artist on an indie team, that's one thing. But when you're, so with my own comic series, I am the writer, the artist, the inker, the letterer, the graphic design work, printing, publishing, promotions, marketing. It's what, like 20 full-time jobs all in one happy little ball that you have to manage all on your own. But then you have full control of it too. So it is your own baby, and being able to control it like that, I guess it makes me a helicopter parent in my own projects, I guess. But it basically lets you create and let it grow the way you want to, as opposed to being dictated by somebody on a different part of the chain. Although I would like to have somebody to do my social media and that stuff. That stuff drives me crazy.
Yeah, definitely. And, marketing is a difficult thing too, especially with a very crowded landscape that we're living in, whether it's indie comics, indie writing, indie publishing, all that kind of stuff. It's a very difficult thing because, to a certain extent, we're all fish in a very big pond. So it gets crowded, and it feels like you're swimming with the sharks at times, like Bruce the Shark, going back to the 70s.
And the more accessible everything gets as the world is now, which is great because it means you can do more, but it means everybody's can do more. And there are people everywhere doing everything, and it's part of it. I love it, but it also makes it harder to stand out when everyone is trying to do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come up with something unique and then see if it takes.
Exactly. Got to find a way to stand out from the crowd.
That's right.
So to speak. What advice would you give to those who want to be indie creators?
Obviously, go for it. Don't follow. I've been on some panels at conventions and stuff, and some of the people discussing indie stuff are telling people, "Oh, keep it simple, do like a superhero, blah blah blah." And I'm like, no, the whole reason it's indie is so you can do anything you want. Just be prepared that some people are not going to understand your vision. But I recommend, if you have a passion for something and you love doing it and you want to share it, then obviously be an indie creator. There are no real rules to it. You can do anything you want to do. You just have to have a passion for it. And typically, if you have a passion for it, other people will see that passion and possibly connect with it. Maybe not the same as you, but in a strong way. And I think that reinforces the whole indie movement.
Definitely. Do you see the indie creators and indie movement evolving and getting bigger and even stronger, and perhaps even taking over the market to an extent in the next 5 to 10 years? Or do you think it's going to be an even longer uphill battle for indie creators to take that mountain?
So I'd say in the past 15 years, I've seen the quality of the indie industry increase significantly. In fact, I see a lot of it surpassing the big names, and it's really, I've seen it really grow and become far more credible. Like when I first started, people looked at indie stuff as, all right, that's kind of like the weird side stuff. But I feel like for a lot of people, those indie artists and stuff have become their main focal. Like those aren't really indie anymore. They're actually kind of as mainstream as other things. I mean, nobody's making $200 million movies off of a lot of the indies unless they really blossom. But I feel like as far as comics themselves go, I think indies probably collectively make more sales than your big names do at this point. I mean, there's also a lot more comics, so it gets spread out amongst the far more things. But I also think, like, if you're looking for something new and something like cutting edge or different, the indie industry is by far like a great place to look. Like go to a convention, meet the artist, meet the writer. Like when you buy a comic from somebody like that or a game, it is directly affecting their ability to produce that stuff. It means so much more to somebody like that than it does to the big guys. But I'm not going to knock the big guys, because ultimately every indie artist, a comic creator or game designer is envisioning becoming the big guy. That's kind of part of what you're trying to do. So as much as like people knock big successful companies and stuff, it's like, well, eventually you want to be that. So why are you hating on someone who's already accomplished that? It's a weird dynamic. You have to like you have to understand, like, you want to achieve what they have, but you can't shun them for it. Like I'm in the gaming industry now, and I have an RPG out called Faye, and a lot of people are like, oh, don't you hate the D&D, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I mean, D&D is its own thing. I'm not competing with D&D. Awesome. I remember back when D&D was like a secret, like, naughty game to play, because like people considered it like Satan worshiping and like occult stuff, and we used to play it like hush hush in the early 80s. And it was like, cheaply printed black and white books before like they started getting higher quality. But it's like, so it was an indie concept. It was an indie thing, and it's grown and it's become enormous, and good for them. Congratulations. And I'd love for mine to do the same thing, but I'm not gonna like knock it. I'm going to understand what it is, learn how it became what it is, and learn from it, so it possibly help me do the same thing.
Definitely, yeah. And RPGs are such a big thing. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
and
they're more popular now than they've ever been. Yeah.
Yeah, they continue to grow. There's a LCS. By the way, support your local comic shops, folks. That have, there's this one place in Annapolis, Maryland, which is near where I live, and it's called Third Eye Comics. So there's Third Eye Comics, but there's also Third Eye Games and Third Eye Music and Video. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a separate store that's nothing but, tabletop games, RPG, all this other stuff, and they do events every single week. And they got, certain events that go down every single month. It's insane how big the market is. It really is. It's amazing to me how these things have grown over time. Now, I may not be an RPG, veteran by any stretch of the imagination, but I've seen it grow, and I've seen it make a huge impact at events and conventions, for that matter. So, what has your experience been like at conventions, whether you're there as a vendor or there as an attendee? Any special memories for you stand out, or just overall observations you've made over the years?
I mean, that's another thing that's grown exponentially. Like, it used to be maybe like one a month. When I got started, like, there'd be like one show once a month, maybe once every 2 months, and that has grown. There's lots of I guess you'd say indie promoters and indie convention people that like are all trying different types of shows. I mean, quite literally, I could go within driving distance to be at a convention of one sort or another every weekend of the year if I wanted to. There's a lot out there, and they're struggling from the same thing that indie comic people are, indie game people, podcasts. What am I going to do to make my show stand out and become that thing that people want to experience versus all the other ones out there? It's booming just like everything else. But I feel like for a while when I first started, comic cons were very, like, if you weren't collecting comics, you shouldn't be here. You'd go in and it was comic vendors. It was how you used to find the comics that you couldn't just, go pick up new. And you'd wheel and deal with comics. But it's changed a lot over the years. A lot of shows that call themselves Comic Cons now maybe have one or two comic vendors in them. But I mean, there's vendors for so many different kinds of things now. There's cosplay's grown as a whole nother world in these things as well. Some people view it as, oh, that's just crap, but it's a draw. It's for a convention, like it's about getting people in the door, and if cosplay gets people in the door, then cosplay is a part of the convention, you know?
Yeah, I've cosplayed too at conventions. Maybe not, some of the other characters we may have mentioned here already on this show. But I've gone as Indiana Jones. I've gone as Marty McFly. I've gone as Clark Kent from the TV series Smallville, the greatest TV series of all time. # those are the facts of this case, and they are undisputed. You're talking to a diehard Superman fan here, so I take that seriously. Cosplay very, very good to me. Cosplay is very, very good to me. So, it's...
Yeah.
It's a thing, right? It's a community.
It is. Most Comic-Cons, cosplay is more of a draw than comics are these days. And it's just the interest shift, And that's kind of the point I was trying to make is like the reason why people go to these things changes, and people are always looking for some reason for people to go to their show that would make them stand out from somebody else's show. And a lot of times influencers are a new thing, or like gaming conventions. If you get some of the big, the big YouTube channels, characters and stuff like that at them, it's a like anything else. It's constantly changing, and the focus changes with it. Feel like Comic-Cons were very superhero focused for a long time, and I feel like superheroes are like almost second tier. I've seen a lot of Comic-Cons have more anime than superheroes lately. Again, it's what draws people in, what people are interested in, and a lot of the younger people are falling more into having more interest in other genres other than your classic Marvel, DC superheroes.
For sure. And by the way, you're making very good points. I want to thank you for being, and also thank you for being with us on this episode of Freewheeling Fridays. Don't forget to like and share. If you got any what am I trying to say? Questions for the guest? Jay Mooers. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat.
Oops.
And oops, exactly. Thank you everybody for being here. Woody says that Jay's dog has settled in for the night. Yeah, right behind him.
Yeah, I got one of them there. There's another one over here. They're waiting for me to go to bed. I came upstairs to the studio to do the podcast, and it's already like I usually go to bed around 9 o'clock. So, I usually get up at like 3:34 in the morning. But it is the weekend, so I'm okay. But
that's early.
They were all expecting to go up to bed, and I turned the other way when I got in the hallway and headed to the art studio. So they've all traveled in here a little confused and decided to wait till I decided to go the other way.
Gotcha. What are the dogs' names?
The blonde one up there is Oz. He's my he's my little like sidekick. He would glue himself to my leg if he could.
Oh jeez.
He is Daddy's boy. He needs to be with me at all times. And hidden down over here, I don't think you can see her on camera, but I got a little Chihuahua Dachshund mix called Callie, who's the goddess of destruction, appropriately.
Oh,
but she is sleeping. It's her safest time.
Oh goodness, yeah. Because as you were talking about the last question, I saw the fur baby crawling in the background. I'm like, what? Who is this?
He's not trying to get in my lap right now. He usually, for a lot of podcasts and video interviews, he'll just kind of sit on my lap and look at the camera, and he may come over here in a a bit. He's kind of tired.
Long day at the office. Gee willikers.
Totally long day.
So yeah, exactly. Goodness gracious. Once again, thank you for being here on this episode of Freewheeling Fridays. Want to give a shout out to some great creators out there. And I'm going to ask Jay another question or two here in a minute. But first, we want to give a shout out to these fine folks right over here. Take a look.
I am Bo-Katan, and you are watching us on Madness Comic Network.
All right, thank you, Bo-Katan. Appreciate that. And also, I want my dark saber too. I could use a dark saber around here. Gee willikers, what's going on? Pops, where's the dark saber in our budget, bro? I need my dark saber, man. Get it over here.
You
Ship
should
it
all
over.
get one.
I know. Well, yeah, I think maybe all of us at the Madness should have a dark saber, even though the Dark Madness there can only be one. But I don't know. Didn't Highlander have like 50 sequels and a TV series a long time ago? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, but the first movie was the last one.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a great movie too. I have it on Blu-ray, the director's cut of that, actually. True story. True story. I see your fur baby decided to make an appearance after all. Is that true?
Yeah, he's being a little floppy. He's a little tired, but there he is. This is Oz. He's like I said, he would glue himself to me and be very happy. He's gonna like fall asleep and be like a little mush face over here while we chit chat.
Gee whiz. Such a sweet kid. Yes, Woody, I said it. All right. I know I'm dating myself here by saying gee willikers. I'm trying to kick it back to a time that was simpler.
Golly gosh.
Yeah, exactly. And then he says, Kaylee, the goddess of destruction. Yeah, that's right. Kaylee, the goddess of destruction. That's what we spoke about earlier.
Yep. He's looking over here like, why is he in your lap and not me?
And now Woody's saying that's a happy dog there. There's no denying it now.
Yeah. He's past his bedtime. Poor little baby.
I know, right? It's just, interesting stuff. For those of you who are not familiar with Fey Courts, what exactly is Fey Courts and how did that come about?
So Fey Courts is a miniature skirmish game. It's designed that if you have enough know-how to figure out how to play a basic board game, you can actually start playing it. But you basically customize your own troop of monsters, and you go up against your friends or your enemies, whatever. You go up against somebody, and it's a competitive game. You have different tasks to do on the board. You have your good old classic try to kill each other, or you could do games like Capture the Mortal, which is essentially capture the flag, only the flag is actively trying to run away and escape from you guys. So you guys, can try to work together to catch them or backstab each other and potentially, kill the mortal while the other one's trying to catch them. But there's all kinds of different scenarios. It's a tabletop game where, again, you create your own little army of monsters, and you essentially compete against somebody else, scoring points by accomplishing different tasks on the board.
Sounds good, man. Congratulations on that. We took the liberty of posting the link here in the chat, or in the comments, rather, for everybody to check out. And also, if you look at that QR code where am I pointing to? At the top right-hand part of your screen. That is a QR code.
Right here.
Exactly. This is why we pay Jay Moops the big bucks here. See, I got it right this time. If you scan that QR code with your phone, it'll take you directly to the Kickstarter page where you can back the Kickstarter. And if you can't back it at the moment, you can just share out the link to your friends, which I think is a great way to support Jay and his team and other creators out there such as Jay. So
this whole series, I'll give you a little tour of how I got to Fey Courts.
Yeah, go ahead.
It started out as my first indie comic, which is called Autumn Gray. Right now, I'm 8 issues into it. I would have completed it because there's 2 more issues to go, except I got sidetracked by creating the tabletop roleplay game Fey, which is based in this world. But Autumn Gray is the name of the comic, and it is the prequel to the game Fey. So Fey is a tabletop roleplay game that I launched 4 years ago. It's taken off. I have international groups that play it. I got all kinds of people everywhere that play it. But it took off on Kickstarter 4 years ago, and now there's expansions for it, all kinds of lore books, adventures, and stuff like that. But it's a tabletop game where you play monsters hiding in the modern day human world. And so the next logical step was, because I created this game, I got to know lots of gaming conventions, and I fell down the rabbit hole of I love wargaming. I love the idea of building your own army and battling other people. And I realized like most of them are very science fiction or like a grim dark future or war. And I'm like, well, it'd be kind of fun What if you just played a random pack of monsters and just like you were playing like a group of monsters and you do monster things? Come on, you know, and it just I took the world I created for Faye, which was actually from Autumn Gray originally, and actually reworked it into a miniature skirmish game again, where you play monsters. It feels, if you play the RPG, the miniature game feels like this. The rules are adjusted because it's a different kind of game, but it feels like you're playing Faye. It has the same vibe to it. It's again, you can customize your characters, but it's also the rules are written so that you can learn to play it very easily. A lot of the miniature skirmish games are I know a lot of people look at Dungeons and Dragons and think, man, there's a lot of complicated rules here. You think that's bad? Go ahead and look at like Warhammer 40K or War Machine or all these BattleTech. All these miniature skirmish games have far more rules and far more things you have to learn in order to play them than something like Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's also more complicated because you are competing against somebody. In Dungeons and Dragons, you're all working together. So if you don't understand something, somebody else at the table is going to help you out because you guys are trying to win together. Versus a competitive game where if you screw up, the guy sitting across from you is probably just going to keep his mouth shut, smile, and then blow you up on the table. So I wanted Fae Courts to be something that you could just sit down and play with people that don't normally play miniature games. But it also has a lot of depth to it. So it's one of those games where you start playing it over and over and you start unlocking strategies and new ways of playing it. And your own, you get better at it basically. So when you go back, like I've played it a lot, and I look back at the way I played it when we were first building it versus how I play it now, and it's like, wow, like I have changed so much on how I build it, and I still experiment a lot, which is a lot of fun. But it's designed to be accessible to everybody. I've had little kids play it. It's very easy to understand the basics. And it's also very deep so that if you are a diehard gamer, you can keep digging deeper and unlocking new things you can do in the game. But the rules are very accessible. And so the Kickstarter, which we launched on the 1st, is going to be up for the entire month. There's all kinds of stuff to check out on that link. There's obviously the rule books, cards for the games, tokens for the games. There are actually miniatures for the games, and I actually have some over here. I can I don't know how well they'll zoom in on this little camera here, but like,
oh, that's cool.
Guys like this guy, you got a 2-headed troll. He's fun. So these characters are all customizable. So for people that don't want to design the characters themselves, which does not take a lot of time, but if they just want to just sit down and play, there will be like pre-made character sheets for them, and I can show you. Actually, I can grab right here the character sheet for this character and show it to you.
Oh, okay, nice.
So you can see how simple it starts out as. It gets complicated just out of your own strategies. So, so this is the character sheet.
There it is.
And I have it laminated so we can test play them with dry erase markers and wipe them clean, which is always great. But this is the duo troll. I call him that because he's got 2 heads. And then his stats are right there. I'll give a quick rundown, actually. Speed, very simple. That's how many inches you can move on the board by walking. So this character can walk 6 inches across the table. Hit, that's the number of dice you roll to hit somebody. So if you get within like arm's reach and you want to smash somebody with this good old club, you would roll 5 dice. Range is how many dice you're going to roll if he's going to throw something at somebody. So 4 dice for that. Affinity numbers, the number of dice you're going to roll to cast one of his nifty little powers here, which you can read about when you in the rule books and stuff. But they're all different abilities characters can have. But that's how many dice you would roll for that. And the defense number, very simply, that is the number the other person has to roll over to hit you. So you're rolling 10-sided dice, and say he was hitting himself. He would roll 5 dice. and each die that was a 5 or higher would hit him for 1 point of damage. It's that simple. So like very simply, if he was going to hit himself, I would just roll 5 dice, boom, and then anything that was 5 or higher I reduce his hit points by 1 for each one success. When he reaches 0, the miniature falls over on the board. That's the very basic layout of how the game works. It's a turn by turn. So if you're playing a game versus somebody else, it's very simple. You roll, whoever rolls highest goes first, or actually no, gets to choose who goes first. Because sometimes you want the other player to go first because your strategy might be for them to walk into your trap. So you whoever wins the roll gets to pick who goes first, and then very simply you choose whoever goes first chooses one of their models and does their actions with it. And then the other person uses one of their models, and you just go back and forth until all the models are used up, and that's the end of the round. It again, like if you can follow a basic board game, you can follow how this game works. But then you can have fun customizing your characters, like really kind of like experimenting with their powers. There are other things you can do in the game, such as throwing smaller models. So very simply, since this troll is a big guy, he could grab. Let's grab somebody here. All right. So I have a little model here. This is a little Mogwai. So it's the size of the bases that determine like the size of the character. So he's considered large and he's considered small. So he could very simply, on his action, throw this character. So like if this character needed to get on the other side of a wall, he could simply grab him on his action, throw him over the wall, and then on your next turn, the little guy would have his action, and then he could start running from there. So there's a lot of like strategies on how you place your characters on the board. You learn pretty quickly like how strong your enemies are. Like if they've made their characters like strong with range attacks, they're like, all right, I got to make sure I got to avoid their range attacks, so I got to get all the way in there and start hitting them because then they can't shoot me. They have to deal with like hand-to-hand fighting. So there's a lot of subtleties to it, but the basic rules are very straightforward. And again, if anybody wants to check out the Kickstarter through the link there is a full game playthrough on the Kickstarter. Pop some popcorn, sit down, enjoy it. Go ahead and watch me lose another game of Fey Quartz. I lose this game so much. I think it's because I like to try and experiment with different kinds of stuff, even if I'm not sure if it's going to work. It's like even when I'm just playing with somebody to show them how to play, I am testing my own things while doing it. Like, can I run away from this character? Can I? Nope. Now I got squashed. Nope. Okay. But it's that kind of a thing. Like I love testing the waters. And once the game is out there, I can't wait to like see what kind of ideas people have and come up with for like different kinds of strategies and stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be people like, oh, I'm using a summoning strategy. Okay. And someone else is like, oh, I have this archer wind combination we do. I'm like, sure. But at the moment, like I'm just dabbling in so many different kinds of things with it.
Oh my goodness. When you mentioned Mogwai, I was thinking of a little indie film and where you don't feed him after midnight.
Yeah, but when is it okay to feed them?
Before midnight, I'm assuming. So feed them at like 11:30.
Before the next midnight.
Well, I don't know. Maybe 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah.
Am I thinking about this right? I don't know. But
when
you mentioned Mogwai, I was thinking of Gremlins there for a second.
Yeah,
so
I know exactly what you're thinking.
That's one thing that's
one of my favorite Christmas movies right there.
There you go. See, and the holiday season's coming up. So
it is. In fact, there's a whole little pack of Mogwais in this adventure.
If
you're not interested in the game, you can just buy sets of the minis.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe let me pull out the Mogwais here.
Yeah.
Parade of the Mogwais.
Let's take a look at this. There you go. There you go.
Turn around, guy. There he is.
Look at that.
And this has lovingly been called the Karen of Mogwais.
Yes. Look at those Mogwais. Gee whiz. I'll tell you. It's That's really cool. That's really cool that it's accessible to everybody. Anybody could play it. If you're not familiar with this world, this universe, you could just dive right in any
Yeah.
point.
And
Fantastic.
it's one of those things where as you play it, you might actually learn some of the lore from the game and stuff, just because like you pick settings, and like settings have names, and you begin to learn those names, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. You look in the book, and you're like, oh, this is about that place. Oh, okay. The place we've been stomping each other. Now I know about it.
It's like, what? Why? No, I get that. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. Woody says I've thrown a few pieces of game pieces before since I was a kid. So there you go. He knows what it's like to either throw pieces or like have them battle each other, I suppose.
Some of these characters would survive a good throw. Some of them, I would have a feeling you got to get out the super glue after you've chucked them across the room and put them back together. But you don't need these minis to play this game. You can use any minis you want. It's just the base sizes are what's important to indicate the size of the characters on the board.
Gonna have to be.
So if you throw them a lot, as long as you like save your checker pieces, you could technically use those as your characters.
Checker pieces. There you go. That's going to work for anybody. And Woody was asking the same question that we just asked a moment ago. Can you feed them after midnight? No, probably not. And then he says,
yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're just going to end up with gremlins. That's okay. Maybe they have better stats for this game. I don't know.
Are we talking about Gremlins, the original batch, or Gremlins 2, the new batch? I'm just kidding.
Either one. Either one. I don't know. It depends. Do you want a musical number, or do you just want them to jump out of a Christmas tree?
Me personally, I would just rather have them jump out of a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the original.
Yeah, because I tried watching Gremlins 2, and I got about 30, what was it, like 30, 40 minutes into it, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? This is way too crazy.
So I actually watched a documentary about the creators of Gremlins and Gremlins 2.
Sure.
And I wasn't a big fan of Gremlins 2 until I watched the documentary, and then I realized like it kind of went over why it was that way. Like he had just kind of like cut loose and just. So I have a better understanding and more of an appreciation for it, but it's still for me the inferior Gremlins movie.
Yeah, I can understand that. And Woody goes on to say Gremlins 2 was awful, but I like the first one. That's fine, Woody. Listen, some people defend the second one, some people don't, and that's fine because all film, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact subjective.
What? No, I thought you told me earlier that it's your way or the highway.
Well, when it comes to Smallville being a TV series, yes, but when it comes to film, it's a bit of a different.
Making sure.
I was gonna say Smallville's a TV series, so that's a bit of a different thing there. But
different enchilada.
And by the way, Woody has a fun fact for us. He says Hoyt Axton, who played the father in Gremlins, was actually a folk singer as well as a songwriter. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Hoyt Axton. All right, we're gonna have to keep this in mind, Woody. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
And it was another movie that featured Robbie the Robot, our all-time favorite sci-fi robot.
That's right. Oh man. Oh boy, the 80s. Man, the 80s had some really good stuff. I gotta tell you. Oh man. Since we're in the middle of, well, not in the middle of, we just started a few days ago, but I'm just curious, do you like scary movies? And if so, what are some of your favorites since we're going into spooky season?
Do you like scary movies?
Exactly. Just like Ghostface. Do you like scary movies, Sydney?
I love supernatural stuff. I love supernatural stuff is my jam. I mean, I love Gremlins. I love dark comedy like that. I think the one thing I love about the Gremlins movie is it switches. Like you have a couple scenes where it's clearly a horror movie, and then it flips and goes into like this wacky, like the bar scene thing, and then it turns back into a horror movie. And I like the dance. I like the contrast. I also love slow burn movies. I love movies that don't just like dump it all out with like action scenes. I like the slow, atmospheric. I love Del Toro films. My games are based on playing monsters. So like the original Fey RPG, I wrote it thinking more fairies and nymphs and stuff, but it's definitely more goblins and monsters hiding under the bed and eating people. And so it's definitely got it's a things like Gremlin. I keep going back to Gremlins. movies with that kind of vibe are probably the strongest influence I've got towards my comics and my games. I love the villains. I love monsters. I they're my favorites. And like character designs for like these supernatural creatures. And I just watched a couple days ago. I watched The Slender Man, which was not one of my all-time favorites, but I really liked some of the visual stuff that they unleashed in that. It was really cool. Things like Stranger Things, anything with like Lovecraftian style creatures and stuff like that. Again, I love supernatural creatures and monsters. I love the original, like the Universal monsters. My wife was never really into horror until she met me, and now she's gotten past me. She loves watching those documentaries on serial killers and things
Lord.
like that. That's a little like I'm not so interested in like just the murderer. I like it when it's, you know, maybe put a hockey mask on and somehow lightning and you come back from the dead. You know, okay, now I'm in, but like if it's just a plain old slasher thing, I'm like, oh, come on, just like tease something supernatural here, just a little bit for me.
Wow. Okay, man, you just ran the gamut of a whole bunch of different movies here, but I dig it, man. I dig it. That's a good one. I mean, you know, it's, you know, hello, Sydney. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
OG Scream is, you know, kind of, what's the expression? Kind of goes without saying. Woody, you were on fire with these comments about what we've been discussing these last several minutes. Gremlins 2 gave my son nightmares for many years. Jack in the Box horror, I just don't like it. I can see that. I can see it. Let's see. Boyd Axton, he also wrote the song about how Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I never understood a single word that he said, but I helped him drink his wine.
Yeah. Now, if I have that in my head all night, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you, Wood.
Yeah, that'd be Woody's fault. What was it again? It was Della and the dealer and a dog named Jake. I'm digging it, and I'm digging the dog. I think the dog has stolen the show, quite frankly.
There he is.
Yeah.
He's very sleepy.
He's very sleepy. He's going, yeah. He's kind of passing out here. But hey,
I'll change the title on my screen to Oz.
Oz the Great and Powerful? No,
Oz the Great and Powerful. There he is.
I'm just kidding.
He almost caught a cardinal today. He's so powerful.
Really?
Yeah.
I respect Cardinals. I kind of like Blue Jays too. Not the baseball team though, just the bird. Because you know, us in Maryland, we really don't care much for Yankees or the Blue Jays or what's another team we don't like. I don't know. Maybe it's all of them. I don't know. I just know that the Orioles have a steep rivalry with the Yankees. But doesn't every team in the world have a rivalry with the Yankees? I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah, they do. You're asking a guy who I'm up in the Boston area, so the Red
Fenway
Sox are a
Park.
bit of a rival with the Yankees.
Fenway Park. Yeah. Fenway Park, baby. That's the one with the giant green wall in left field or something like that. Yeah. Was I sitting on the third baseline about halfway up? Yeah, I dreamt you were at the baseball game with Terrence Mann. There's another one. There's another one. Please tell me you've seen Field of Dreams.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. All right, we can be friends now. This is great because that's one of the all-time.
No, I haven't seen it. I can't have that responsibility.
No, I'm just kidding. But what I'm saying is, it's one of the greatest. In my opinion, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It's quotable. It's got some really, really good stuff in it. And if you haven't seen it before, if you've never heard of it before, or if you just haven't seen it in a while, you may want to revisit it. I'm just throwing that out there. But as far as scary movies go, yeah, I like Creature from the Black Lagoon, Lon Chaney Jr.'s The Wolfman, Claude Rains' Phantom of the Opera. I also like Claude Rains. Again, Claude Rains is a beast. The Invisible Man.
Mm-hmm.
The Invisible Man, the original. Because the effects from the whenever it came out, I think it was the 30s it came out originally, the original Invisible Man black and white movie. The fact that those effects were made in the 30s and they still hold up 85 years later, or whatever X amount of years later, is insane.
Yep.
That's why that movie is so good. I have it on Blu. I have the original 8 movies of Universal Monsters on Blu-ray, and then I have the top 4, my favorite of the originals, on DVD.
On David?
No, DVD. Yeah, so I got them on 2 formats, brother.
Nice.
Blu-ray and DVD. You can never go wrong.
Right.
So yeah.
So are you itching to get down to Epic Universe and check out the Universal Monsterland?
Probably. I mean, yeah, I'd be willing to check it out one of these days. Sure, why not?
Sounds like a madness trip to me. Let's go.
Yeah, Pops, can we put this in the expense account or the budget or something like that? Can we get a group of us?
Stop by Disney World and go to Star Wars Land and get your dark sabers while you.
Can we do that? Can we go to Galaxy's Edge and just go to the shop and build some lightsabers? Maybe even build a droid or 2. I don't know.
A couple of little like goblin powered droids.
Okay, that would be a first. But if anyone can do it, it's Jay Moops or Jay Mooers, really. See what I did there? There you go. There's your quote for the night. There's
hashtag
yeah.
Jay Moops.
Hashtag Jay Moops, exactly. Or, in some cases, hashtag Oz stole the show.
Oz stole the show.
Which he's curled up right there in a ball.
He is so heavy right now. He's just like, ugh, bed. Why am I not in bed?
Why am I not in bed? What is going on? And what is this guy doing here? What do you think you're doing here? What are you doing?
Do you want one of these?
Yeah, can you get us one?
You want one of these?
I mean, if you can get it, yeah, that'd be great. Is that part of the expense account?
No, but it might be.
Damn. It's like a biscuit. He's like, you want it? You want it? Huh?
You want it?
You want it? You want it?
Just get a biscuit. I squeeze so much. How much is it going for?
Look at that.
Do we have a number?
Hyper crystal in there and everything.
Do we have a number in mind, or are we just making this up as we go?
I haven't decided yet if I'm selling this, but I might.
I'd buy that for $1.
Next Friday, we have a new sales show. We're going to be doing a direct sales show starting next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't know. You think somebody might want this? You think?
I mean, Jay may want it. Ryan may want it. I mean, who is the person we were talking about earlier tonight? What was it? Maybe Dustin may want one. I don't know. Dustin, are you watching this? I don't know if
this
he's
could
probably
happen,
asleep.
guys. This could happen. I mean,
I could go for
I have
one.
a huge collection of stuff. I don't need all this stuff. I need my network to grow. I need
That's true.
revenue to make things grow. So
Respect.
I have some stuff I'm going to sell.
Oh boy,
it could be one of those things. Somebody wants it. All they got to do is, what do you want for that, Pops? And we're going to start talking. It's not going to be an auction show.
Okay.
Look, every time we've done an auction, somebody bids on something that the lowest bid, and then they're all friends and nobody wants to bid against each other. I might as well just sell stuff for a set price rather than waste time.
You got to keep it anonymous.
Well, there's that too.
But yeah, this very well could be on the show.
Damn.
Yeah, a lot of times I get asked by people at shows, like my puppet back there, Simon. Like people are like, oh, can I buy that? I'm like, well, he's not for sale, but there's always a number that will make me say yes.
and Ryan, I know Simon.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
actually interviewed Simon.
Really?
They've hung out together. Yeah. I'd go get him now, except my hands are full.
Yeah, it's all right. What? Oh, God. What is going on? But that's great. I didn't know there was going to be a what do you call it? A sales show going on next week. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be probably every other week, but I mean,
every other week.
But there's also going to be a giveaway platform.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to have 6 items up for sale, and each item that sells, the giveaway item will get better.
Ooh.
So, I mean, if we sell 1 item, you're going to get a keychain. If we sell 6 items, you're going to get something nice, right? You see what I'm saying? It's going to...
Dark Saber.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things for sale.
Oh, it's not going to be a giveaway. I wish it was, though. It'd be nice. It'd save us some cash.
I do have some really nice stuff that people have already sent me.
Oh, they've sent you
giveaway items.
They have sent you this. Okay.
Yeah, we have
that's even cooler. Look at this.
From
let's get a close up of this. Look at this. Ooh.
Enjoy the bundle. Made with Love by J.E. Corrales, Ryan Howard, and Tresh Ellis. And
look at that.
The first 3 books, I think, of the series.
Ooh, nice.
And this is one of the giveaway items. We have
that's a nice one.
we have a ash can from Galaxy Memorial Park. Levi's. We got an ash can to give away. We got stuff to give away, but we got stuff we got to sell.
That's a cool looking cover, by the way.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I might be persuaded to send something your way.
Yeah, see, Jay's going to send something to you.
Anybody?
It won't be Oz, though.
But you know, I mean, giving stuff away is the bonus for people buying stuff. We want people to come check it out. I got a bundle of indie comics. I have the Watchmen bundle with the graphic novel, 1 through 11 of Doomsday, a couple of befores and an after. It's very like cool. 15 or 16 books in the bundle. I'm gonna sell that. We got a few different things that are pretty cool, right? For the first show. So people want to tune in, buy something. Now I'm gonna let you go back to your interview. You did a Joe Hendry on me. See, say his name and he appeared.
You say it 3 times and there he is.
Yeah, and then now he's taking a commercial break, hanging out in the green room with all the other.
Pops.
Yeah,
and boom, there he is.
And I also want that dark saber. I'm just speculating here. What the heck is?
And maybe we'll have a giveaway of a dark saber keychain.
Yeah. If I don't get the dark saber, maybe one of us can get the keychain at some point next week. I don't know. That's up to Pops. He's running that show, not me. It's not my decision. But I tell you what is my decision is to let people know that this has been a stellar and surprising episode, I must say. Thank you, Pops, of Freewheeling Fridays. And congratulations to Jay Mooers on Fey Courts. Link is in the comments here. We also have it in that QR code that's located at the top right-hand corner of your screen. Jay, I got to tell you something, man. This has been educational, to say the least. And your dog has stolen half of the show, if not more.
You want to wake up enough to say goodbye?
I don't think he does. I think he's out. He's out. Look at him. Is he awake now? Is that
barely? No, he's gone. There he goes.
He's passing out again. But Jay, I want to say congratulations to you, first and foremost. Exactly. And congratulations to Oz for being a wonderful secondary guest.
Oh, yeah.
On this program, if I do say so myself, Jay.
Well, thank you. You did say so yourself.
Yeah, and now he's having a blast back there. Way to go, Oz. But listen, this has been great. I wish you nothing but success. I'm going to post this link to the Kickstarter in the Discord that I'm in. I'm going to get more people involved in this. I want to get some more eyes on this project of yours. We're going to see what we can do for you. Okay, buddy?
Yep. So anyone who checks it out, it's only been up for a couple days now, but we're over a quarter of the way there, but there's still a good chunk to go. So anybody who wants to check it out, come check it out. If you have any questions, ask away, and I will explain it all.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being here with us. And do you want to plug any other of your social media?
So it's Jay Moops, Mooers. If you hop on Facebook and type in that name, spelled that way, or that's on the screen there, you'll easily find me on Facebook, Instagram. I have an X account, but I haven't logged into it in so long. I think it might be sleeping. That's basically, those are the main socials I'm on. There's also a FAE Discord. If you type in FAE on Discord, you should be able to find that. I'm planning on adding FAE Courts to that once the Kickstarter is completed. And you can go to my website, which is www.edenparktales.com, which is the name of my little publishing house. If you're interested in picking up anything FAE, Autumn Gray, my old novels, any of that stuff, it's all there. Artwork, please come check it out. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in the middle of the night here and hanging out with me and Oz.
Absolutely, kind sir. Thank you, Jay, for being with us. I'm going to talk to you here again momentarily, so feel free to stick around, grab some coffee and some refreshments back there in our non-existent green room / of a studio. And Oz, well done, buddy, with that smile and that kind of tired face like this. Just, it's one of those things, Jay. It's one of those things, brother. It really is. But thank you so much for being a part of the show, and thank you for being a part of the show. We cannot do this without you. I want to give you a heads up on my YouTube channel and I Quote channel. My name is Ryan. You can follow me there on all forms of social media. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, hopefully by the end of the year. Once we do, we'll throw a great big live stream celebration that will include giveaways. Maybe Jay will throw something into the mix. That you, the incredible person who's watching or listening to this right now, are going to be eligible to win. Also got merch. It's the season, right? It's fall season, right, Jay? We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got stickers you can add to your water bottles, we got coffee mugs, special items such as that, all that kind of jazz. So definitely check it out. And also I want to let you know that Dustin of Master of the Thunder Nerds and I have a new show coming up on Sunday, October the 5th. We're going to debut a brand new show. And it's going to involve a little something like this. We're going to be doing watch-alongs of the greatest TV series of all time, Smallville, for the first half of that show. And then the second half, we're going to be watching 2 episodes of a season of Power Rangers. That's right. We're going back to the 90s and the 2000s, folks. And it's coming. It's going to drop like it's hot on Sunday, October the 5th. So it's going to drop at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So there you go. Dustin and I are going to be going back to a much simpler time and a great time for television that it was. Whether it was the 90s or the 2000s, you got something in there for everybody. So tune in for that. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. And remember, Freewheeling Fridays is on Friday nights, 11 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock Central. And then what are the other I can't think of the other time zones because, but thank you all for tuning in, and we will catch you on the flip side.
If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment Group.